Alex moved into his new apartment, a small one-bedroom place in a quiet neighborhood. The rent was cheap, and the landlord seemed eager to fill the space. At first, everything felt normal. The apartment was cozy, and he quickly settled into a routine. Then, the noises started. At first, it was just the usual creaks of an old building, but soon they became more distinct. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate steps, moving across the living room floor in the middle of the night. Each time, Alex would get out of bed, check every corner of the apartment, but he never found anything. The doors were locked, the windows shut, no sign of an intruder. To ease his paranoia, he bought a small security camera. It was motion activated, had night vision, and connected to his phone. That night, he placed it in the living room, facing the bedroom door, and went to sleep feeling a little more secure. The next morning, he checked the footage. His stomach turned. At 3:12 a.m., the camera detected movement. The video showed his bedroom door slowly creaking open. He had closed it before going to bed. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a shadow, a tall, human-shaped silhouette, moved across the screen. It didn't walk in from another room. It didn't emerge from the hallway. It just appeared, standing outside his bedroom. And then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it was gone. The door remained slightly ajar, swaying just a little before becoming still. Alex replayed the footage over and over, searching for an explanation. A glitch? A trick of the light? But the fear in his gut told him otherwise. The following night, he left the camera on again. He barely slept. The next morning, the footage was worse. The figure wasn't just standing outside his bedroom. It stepped inside. For a full minute, it stood there, watching him sleep. Then, just before vanishing into the darkness, the camera picked up something new. A whisper, distorted and barely audible. "I see you." That morning, Alex packed his things and left. He didn't care about breaking the lease or losing his deposit. He just knew he couldn't stay another night. But something kept gnawing at him. He had to know more. That night in his motel room, he dug deeper. He searched online, looking for any history of strange occurrences tied to the building. What he found made his blood run cold. Years ago, the previous tenant had disappeared without a trace. Before him, another had died under mysterious circumstances. Heart failure, they said, but his body had been found sitting upright in bed, eyes open, mouth frozen mid-scream. The landlord had covered it up. The unit had been rented out again and again, but no one ever stayed long. Determined to get answers, Alex decided to retrieve the footage remotely. His camera was still connected to the cloud. He logged in and played the final recording from his last night there. The video began like before, his bedroom door creaking open, the shadowy figure stepping inside. But this time, something changed. The figure moved closer, closer than ever before. Alex could now make out faint details. Elongated limbs, hollow eyes, a mouth that twisted unnaturally. The figure leaned down over his sleeping self, and then it turned. It faced the camera. For the first time, Alex saw its face clearly. His own. The recording cut out. Alex slammed his laptop shut, his breathing ragged. He felt his own reflection, staring at him from the motel mirror. A deep, suffocating dread settled in his chest. His phone vibrated. A notification from the camera app. Motion detected. His stomach dropped. The timestamp read 2:59 a.m., but he wasn't in that apartment anymore. He was here, alone. His hands trembled as he opened the app, heart pounding in his ears. The live feed loaded, and there, standing in the corner of his motel room, was a shadowy figure, watching. Alex dropped his phone. His breath came in shallow gasps. He turned slowly to face the corner of the room, his hands clenching into fists as if that would somehow protect him. but there was nothing there. No figure, no shadow. But the feeling didn't leave. The heavy weight of being watched pressed down on him. His skin prickled. Slowly, hesitantly, he reached for his phone again and looked back at the screen. The figure was still there, unmoving, staring directly at him. And then it took a step forward. Alex bolted out of the motel room, leaving everything behind. He didn't stop running until he was several blocks away, breath ragged, chest heaving. He stood beneath a flickering streetlight, trying to make sense of what just happened. His phone vibrated again. Another notification. New device connected. Alex's stomach twisted. His phone was still in the motel room. He hadn't taken it with him. He looked back. The motel room door was wide open, darkness spilling out like an abyss. And inside, the figure stood at the doorway, holding his phone. Alex didn't wait to see what would happen next. He ran, disappearing into the night, knowing deep down that no matter how far he went, it would always find him. It always does.